Hi BookTube, this is me, Juan from Just One Reader, and I am here just to do a quick catch-up video, another Friday Reads video. So this week I finished two books, one of which I had been reading for quite some time, and I am very glad that I finally finished it. And I really enjoyed it actually, and that was Lethal White by J.K. Rowling under the name Robert Galbraith. I just discovered that it's actually pronounced Galbraith, not Galbraith, so that's new. This is the fourth book in the Cormoran Strike detective novel series by J.K. Rowling, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. There are some major problems that I saw in it. I made a separate individual book review talking about the flaws and also the things that I think were really interesting and really successful. Overall, I would say here that Lethal White is my favorite in the series so far just because of the atmosphere, the tone that it creates, the way that the characters are developed, and the way that the storytelling from J.K. Rowling is always keeping you interested and compelling you to read. And you know, it's a book that keeps you turning the page. However, that being said, this is a book with major flaws in terms of sometimes the writing can feel very forced and manipulative in terms of the emotional response that the author clearly wants you to have as a reader. I didn't have a problem with it, but I think some readers might have some problems with that. But most importantly, I think the biggest problem in the book itself is the mystery itself, which is the core of any mystery novel or a crime thriller novel is the mystery. And in this particular book, I just felt like it was super convoluted, extremely complicated, just on the point of feeling ridiculous. So the mystery itself was very hard, but in the end, it's a book that I really enjoyed and I gave it 4 stars. I am really looking forward to reading book 5, Troubled Blood, which is even longer than this. This book is 650 pages long, and the next one is 930. So, ugh. Um, the next book that I read was very, very short. I really wanted something to cleanse my palate, something that would be super, super easy and palatable to read, something that would not take longer than one day. And so I picked up Silk. I picked up Silk by Alessandro Barrico. He's an Italian author and he's been greatly praised, and his work is really important. And I had never read him before, so I decided to go with Silk, which is a tiny, short novel. And I am sad to say that I didn't like it. It was actually a 2-star book for me. But it's a very personal thing because it's a book that I would recommend to certain readers because I acknowledge that this book just is not for me. It does things really well, but I don't like those things when I read. So even though it's a book that I could objectively understand why it has been so successful, it was just not my cup of tea, and I found myself really bored and really unimpressed. This book is sort of a fable. It feels like a mixture between fable-esque, folk tale, novella, poetry. Even it's very poetical. There's like certain things that he uses that feel very musical, and the language is very beautifully crafted and very minimalistic, but I was just very bored by it. It's the kind of thing that you can just love or hate, and I didn't necessarily hate it, but it just left me very unimpressed and underwhelmed. And even though it is extremely short, I found myself rolling my eyes and waiting for it to come to an end. So I just didn't like it, but you might love it. So I would recommend maybe looking up some other reviews of readers who have really enjoyed it to see where you fall in terms of, you know, whether you are more likely to enjoy it for what it is, or it's just not going to be your cup of tea. So those are the two books that I finished reading, and now I finally picked up the second book in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is Royal Assassin. This one picks up right at the beginning of the first book, which was Assassin's Apprentice, and I am really enjoying it. I am reading it quickly. I am reading it sort of knowing that this is not going to be a plot heavy thing. It's going to be, well, this is just what I think. It might not end up coming true, but I feel like this is going to be more of a character story like the first one was. So I am just enjoying the little quiet moments with Fitz and Burich and the different characters, Prince Verity, all of the different characters that I really enjoy following around. And it sort of has a very cozy, warm feel to it. It really is one of those books that immediately envelops you in its atmosphere. It's like an emotional atmosphere. You know, you just feel like there's like a loving texture in the way that Robin Hobb has painted these characters' interactions and the way that they think and the way that they experience things. So I'm enjoying it so far, but I am only like 3 chapters in, so who knows. I'm just starting with this, but that's what I will be reading next week. And probably when I finish Royal Assassin, I will go with Troubled Blood by J.K. Rowling. I really want to see what it's about. I really want to see what's the deal with the whole, you know, controversy of alleged transphobia, which I think sounds frankly ridiculous, but I really want to see for myself what it's about, because, you know, it's a book. That book, Troubled Blood, is one of those instances of a book that has been censored and cancelled by many people without even really knowing what it's about, just based on a tiny bit of information that that was revealed about the book. But I have heard so many different things about the book. I really want to see for myself critically, which I think is what we should all be doing, thinking critically and not canceling people or canceling their work. That's even worse. But anyway, that's me. That's my opinion. You might disagree, and that's completely fine. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.